Good evening and welcome to another round of the House of Esports F1 League. This is Season 4 and we are into the first actual round of the championship. We have a full lobby, all 20 drivers on the grid or have been able to get into the lobby. Have selected their cars. So yeah, this should be an interesting one. As I said, all 20 drivers that checked in for this race have arrived. So this should be a good race around the Bahrain circuit in Sakir. Obviously, we saw this circuit for the first round of the pre-season races, and so the guys should have a pretty decent idea of what their setups are doing and so on. So yeah, this should be a good race. To Secrets Gaming and the Hannibal, thank you for following us. I see Secrets followed us 37 minutes ago, which is interesting since we hadn't been streaming yet. And the Hannibal, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. So we're just waiting for the lobby to load up correctly, and then we'll head across to the live stream. And there we have it. Okay, I need to kill that. That should really not happening. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go have a look and see how things go. As usual, what we'll do is we'll start with once the thing loads up and gets out the way, we'll start with the in-game telemetry, and then we'll head across to the SimHub telemetry once the quali is done, once the first lap has passed. So no one out on track at the moment. Do I get a map like that? No, I do not. Of course not, because yay. Why would M bring up the map? I think it might be T. No, TS telemetry. There we go. Okay, cool. So everything is up and running. Welcome to anyone who is watching. I see a few people lurking in our viewer numbers. So yeah, let's get underway. Looked like Kim heading out first and foremost in the first of the Alpines, trying to get a lap in early, trying to get used to the car. Obviously, Kim joined us last season. How's it, Luke? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Kim joined us last season as a complete rookie, very new to the game. Did fairly well to try and catch up some pace in Tier 2. We only have one tier this season, so being thrown into the deep end a little bit, but we did see some pretty good development from him in the previous season. So good to see him out there on track in the Alpine, his brother in the other Alpine in the form of Gokes. And yeah, let's see how we go. How's it, Hannibal? Welcome, welcome. And thank you for joining us, Demo and Keycracker. Yeah, no, absolutely. Demo, I think they're both actually in McLaren. Yes, they are indeed. So, yeah, the McLaren team looking quite nice and strong. Eskio and Alf. Eskio confused the life out of me. When himself and Alf sent through their team up request because he labeled himself as Sasko, and obviously I haven't registered as SKO, so I was very confused. So yeah, we've got support for the McLarens, we've got support for the Haas, I think it is. Yes, Alf is in the Haas. So yeah, good to see support coming out for the guys. Yeah, if they are, we just call them loaf. I can understand why. But hopefully he won't be a loaf on track because that might be a little bit disruptive. Dwaku, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you in the chat. Good to see a bunch of you guys joining us. Twitch, I do not want to share my 3-stream streak. That seems a little bit self-serving. So Kim out there gets the fastest first lap of anyone, as it is the first lap of anyone at 29.98. Oh, the sector, sorry, 29.980. So getting there. Obviously we'll see people go a fair amount faster as we go on. Let's just make sure. Sorry, I had something up over my telemetry and or one of my telemetries and my track map. So Kim heading down to turn 11 at the moment. This long left-hander, which you can take it a lot quicker than you expect. Then a long right-hander, as long as you stay off the curb, you can take that fairly quickly as well. through turn 13, now down a long straight up towards the last couple of corners. 14 and 15 taken as one long corner. 15 is basically just the exit of 14. You don't really count it as a corner, although we have seen a Formula 1 driver put it in the wall there previously in a massive way. Kim goes to the top of the times, 133.654. So we'll see that time tumble down very quickly. Preseason testing, obviously, Gottlieb has left the session, joined just now. But yeah, obviously preseason testing finishing last week. We have the first race of the season coming up quite shortly as well. So I'm sure everyone is looking forward to that. Cavill, welcome. How's it? How you doing? Demo with a P4 and Keycracker with a P8. Is that your prediction? Wivers, whatever your name is, welcome. If you say it's boring, that's fine. You don't need to be here. But yeah, thank you for joining us anyway and popping a message in the chat. Any engagement does help with the algorithms. So thumbs up to you. Anyway, back to Elf. He's currently on an outlap. Predictions P4 and P8 for Demo and Keycracker. That should be interesting. Oh, wow. A 0 out of nowhere with a 128.4. Massive lap there by the Red Bull driver. Keiko Mark Static in second with a 129.175. So, why is this not giving me my gaps at the moment? Tenzo, thanks for the shout out to saying it gets interesting. Cavill, how you doing? Yeah, I figured he's a friend. He's actually obviously with the Rocket League scene being what he is. Alf has been around there forever. So yeah, let's see what he can do on his lap. Gearing up for the lap as we see an Aston Martin in the background. I think that Aston Martin is coming to the end of his lap. So we'll see Alf get a slipstream down this start-finish straight, and that should pull him through. Yeah, definitely a solid player. Nice that you managed to get onto the same team as him. He is an incredibly good player and a good coach as well. I remember he gave me a lot of tips when I was still playing Rocket League. But yeah, Alf starting his lap, heading down towards turn number 1, and Aston Martin ahead of him. That is either Me Power or Fervid Panda. Let's see if I can see which one it is. It is number 11, and number 11 is Fervid Panda. So hopefully he doesn't get in the way. Looks like he is still pushing on a lap, possibly, but it doesn't look like he's got the same pace as what Alf does. None of my shortcuts appear to be working in game, which is a little unfortunate. But so I'll have to just this. There was an update just before we started, so I wonder if that update has broken some of the keyboard shortcuts, because yeah, none of them seem to be working correctly. So let's go across to with the gap. Let's go to the leader gap so we can see the gaps towards the top. I feel like that is sometimes more interesting than looking at the pure lap times themselves. Alf coming through through the second sector at the moment, down the back straight, and now into turn 11 and 12. So looking at his first sector, he got a 30.379 in the first sector, so not lighting the tables alight. Let's see what he does in the second sector, 40.908. So struggling a little bit to find the pace in that Haas, which I'm sure a lot of us have heard before. With regards to the Haas car now coming down towards 14 and 15, that actually looked quite nice and quick heading into there. Oh, and the keyboard shortcuts work now again. So apparently they just needed to enable whatever it was and then go off. Alf finishes up in 13th at the moment in the Haas, 6.473 seconds. Let's go and have a look at the second of the Red Bulls. We'll actually ride on board with him so we can extract his lap time. There we go. And you can see 323, 324, 326 k's an hour down into the first corner. Massive braking zone there. You have to, a little bit of a snap there. 4 human coming through turn 2 and into turn 3. Pushes out all the way to the left hand side. For turn 4 will go all the way onto the other side of that curving there. We actually saw that quite a lot in preseason testing for the real life Formula 1 as well this season. or with the season, obviously. And that was quite interesting. The Formula One drivers actually basically using some of the esports lines, pushing the curves to their very limits in a whole number of places, and that's what actually led to the drain covers coming up. It was the Formula One cars going to places where they weren't ever really designed to be. And so that was causing all sorts of issues, as we see Destroyer head up into 5th position with a good lap in the Ferrari. So Hubert coming through into the end of the second sector. His first sector is not the fastest of everyone, but that is because Azir is on the grid. 38.0 for the second sector, and that is actually, I believe, the fastest second sector of everyone. So Hubert maybe going a little bit more on the downforce. Yes, I'm. Unfortunately, there's no way to really adjust the onboard cam. So unfortunately with that, let's go away from that. Yes, unfortunately there's no way to specifically adjust the onboard audio, and it's really frustrating. It is so incredibly loud. But yeah, hopefully that'll be a bit better. Well, I'm sure there are places for you to learn to drive. There are leagues all over the place. Azura goes up into second place. Human goes up into second place with a 0.210. So not a bad lap there by him. Apologies. Apparently nothing muted there. So that was fun. G920, yeah, the G920 is a pretty good wheel. I've got the G23, G29. Sorry, thank you. I tried to mute everything, but apparently my keyboard just decided no. So maybe that's why the telemetry wasn't working as well. So Gottlieb is currently, let's have a look, on a lap. He has burned through most of his ERS, comes through the final corner, and Warwick has dropped. So I'll give him an invite as soon as Gottlieb crosses the line. 7th position for Gottlieb, so good run there by the Williams driver. So let's go here, and Warwick, go. Invite has been sent. So G923 for Doaku. Yeah, no, that G923 is the upgrade to the G29 and the G920. So yeah, good. Also a very good wheel, or at least a good starter wheel. A lot of people don't really like the Logitech wheels. They are very entry level with regards to. Ooh, there's an Aston Martin facing the wrong direction, but that is not getting in the way of Azure. Azure currently on the lap, did not beat his first sector time. A little bit of a lockup going through 10, but that is very possibly just the game desync glitch that happens with all lockups. And T248 without the pedals though. Ooh, that looks like that may have been a little bit of a problem there for Azir coming through turn 11, finding the McLaren there. I don't think it was entirely on the line, but it may have put him off his lap. Does get a much faster second sector on that run though, so we'll see Azir probably going to the top of the times with how much quicker his second sector was there. Oh, does he manage to keep it in? That was so incredibly close. That was pixels between himself and an invalidation. 128.298 for Azir, only 0.3 of a second ahead of Humid, and only 0.4 of a second ahead of the Mercedes of KQ Markestatic. So that is quite interesting to see. Corsair in 4th, sitting 0.5 back, and then Quinton downwards. Quinton, the next person, or the last person within a second, then everyone else outside of a second from these guys out in front. Eskio currently on an outlap, so we'll follow him around and watch him on his next lap. But the 248, I'm not actually sure I know what the 248 is. And when you say thrust pedals, I take it you mean just the standard driving pedals. Do you mean the Thrustmaster ones? We're definitely going to need an audio clip for that. But yeah, if anyone wants to record one, send it through to me. I am happy to change up the sound alerts. Obviously, the sound alerts from last season. So yeah, if anyone does have any sound alerts that they prefer and they can find a clip of it, just send it through and I'll see what I can do. I think we can have up to 4 standard sound alerts. So yeah, as I said, if you have any sound alerts that you'd like to see this season, please just let me know via either via Twitch itself towards Skexis, just DM me, or you can get hold of me over Discord. I am in the House of Esports Discord, so just hop on over there, join the Discord. That's the keyboard. So yeah, hop on over to the Discord. You should be able to find me there as Skexis. Yeah. And then we can see what happens. So Esco crosses the line and starts his lap heading down towards turn number 1. Demon and McLaren, yes indeed. I for some reason it felt right when we were setting up the teams themselves. KQ Microstatic, what do you mean with what's going on with the lobby? Not entirely sure what you mean. Stone, as usual, I'll send you another invite just now. I'll wait for SKO to get through there. There we go. Yeah, so SKO coming through turn 8 at the moment. The hairpin at the bottom of the hill, very difficult to do because you have a massive run through there. KQ with Delta in qualifying. That's... You mean a safety car Delta? Yeah, McLaren is actually the team I support as well. A little bit of favoritism there, but yeah, no, McLaren is the team that I support as well, and it is... Dima has left the session, so are we seeing a little bit of lobby instability? If we see people continuously dropping, obviously there are 20 people in the lobby, and unfortunately with EA's peer-to-peer lobbies, it doesn't work all that great sometimes. If someone manages to hook up to a someone, oh, Esco deciding to abort his lap and go into the pit lane, so unfortunate there. But yeah, let's watch Keycracker go around in the other McLaren. So yeah, if we do see a continuous issue with this lobby, Demo has rejoined, so maybe just changing a setting or something. But yeah, we'll see about rehosting. Everyone does have their telemetry settings correctly, actually, which I didn't check earlier, but good to see that everyone has managed to get that right. But yeah, KQ, if you still have a Delta just now, as in a safety car Delta, just let me know, and yeah, that is a little bit weird, but I see you are on an out lap, so good luck for that lap as we watch Keycracker come through 5 and 6 and into 7. This long left-hander doesn't use much of the curb on the right-hand side, but that can actually slow you down as you get on the power. Through 8, oh, a little bit too much curb there, and you could see the rear try and kick out there. We saw Fernando Alonso struggling with that curb in the preseason testing. What do you think of McLaren in preseason testing? Yeah, to be honest, I quite liked it. I did like what preseason testing was showing, except for the alien that is the Red Bull. That was just terrifying, and the reports that there was just no tire degradation on the Red Bull is just... Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, as much as I did, like, I did want Red Bull to win in 2021. I was fine with them winning in 2022. Watching Max this last season was absolutely incredible. It was something else. Keycracker almost invalidating his lap there. But yeah, I wanted everything to be a little bit closer this season, and the Red Bull just looks ridiculous. But everyone else does look quite nice and close. It does look like a bunch of teams have made decent steps forward. Is Keycracker going on another lap? Yes, it looks like he aborted that last lap, so this looks like it is actually another lap at the death of qualifying. 13 seconds left in qualifying, so people will be finishing their laps as we watch the McLaren head around. But yeah, I do think the grid is going to be quite a bit closer this year, and that is good for the sport and good for all of us as well, because hopefully we'll see a little bit more racing, except for the Red Bull, obviously. So let's go actually have a look. Oh, KQ Microstatic racing with one of the Aston Martins, and that is really unfortunate. If the Aston Martin peels off the pits, which it does not, it was actually completing a lap, but that is really unfortunate. So one of the Aston Martins on a lap and got in the way of KQ Markstatic, unable to complete his final lap. Azure comes out of the final corner. That looked like a little bit of a snap through turn 15, gets across the line, another fastest lap of anyone, 128.053. Let's see. Oh, did he have a broken wing? Oh no, that is really unfortunate. Yeah, who knows? But Hewitt coming across the line. Let's see what he can do. 0.3 behind Azure, so not a bad time, but just not quite enough to catch up to Azure. Corsair goes up into third place. Keke Marcus that dropped down after getting caught behind the Aston Martin with the broken wing. Destroyer on his final run down into the final corners. Looks like he has an Alpha Tauri that is ahead of him. That is Italian Legend finishing off his lap. He does indeed finish off his lap. So it comes across the line. Destroyer comes across the line as well, does not improve. So a couple of people lost that lost their opportunities for those final laps. Really unfortunate there. Destroyer losing his final lap. I do believe he was going faster. Yeah, it does look like he was going faster on that final lap than his previous best. So a couple of people losing positions on that final lap. And keep in mind, as long as they are on a hot lap, even if it is slower than yours, they are entitled to be there. The fact that Me Power did complete that lap, didn't peel into the pits, he is entitled to be there. But yeah, I do think people need to be... there does need to be a chat about just in general, if you've got broken wings or anything like that, you're not going to set the timing screens alight, and in that case you should be off the racing line. So it may be something that we need to look into and make it a little bit more clear in the rules, but at the moment there is no rule against completing your flying lap with a broken wing, even if it is a little futile. Alrighty, so now we wait for EA to let us through into the racing session. Obviously, there will be a little bit of time where this holds us all in suspense as we wait to see whether the lobby has crashed, whether it loads properly, whether everyone gets through or not. But we'll see very shortly. 1 second left of this session. We'll go to the loading screen. Hope that no one gets the black screen of doom. Nope, I seem fine, so lobby will be created on the server now, except it's not on the server, it's everywhere, because that makes sense to EA. Waiting for players generally means that people have started to load in, and then we'll get a timer very shortly when the first person actually fully loads in. And then from there, as people load in, the timer will eventually just go to 0, and we will get the starting lights. KQ, I will try and do that, except I have no idea what's happened to my phone. So, yeah, I can't WhatsApp anyone. But yeah, if someone can just let KQ know if he is lagging. Oh, wait, there it is. Cool. Okay, so let's have a look and see how this goes. 5 red lights and away they will go. Ooh, massive amount of lobby desync there, but I think that is just because of the massive amount of drivers in the grid. We'll follow. Oh, massive smash in the background. That is Stoned as usual and Mystic Muchwind, I think, but the two of them have had an issue, and chaos into turn 1. My hat, that was interesting to watch. KK Mark Static losing 2 places off the start. Destroyer as well. Demo gaining 2 places. Gottlieb gaining 2 places. So a little bit of chaos in the background. We see people getting underway. Damage, let's have a look. Muchwind has ended up with some damage, but it looks like everyone else is fine. That is the Ferrari of Quinton going quite deep there. He actually has some pace last season or the season before. I can't remember which one it was, but he had an incredible amount of pace. And did lose out a little bit towards the end when some of the aliens did join, but be good to see him fighting up near the front. So as it stands, Azure out in front, Corsair in second, Humid in third. All three of those guys are members or were members of Omnius Gaming. I think they are still all members of Omnius Gaming. So the three of them holding out front, obviously that clan, or that esports team, putting in the work and making sure that they are out there. Muchwind still carrying that wing damage. That is why he is in 20th place. A couple of people, oh, that is unfortunate. Me Power has 100% damage on his front wing, and Gokes ended up with 40% damage as well. So it looks like there may have been a little bit of moment between those guys. Azure out in front, Corsair, then Humid. Official Demo in 4th place, running quite nicely in the McLaren. But Quinton coming through on his inside into turn 1, ahead before the braking zone. Destroyer gets through on Gottlieb. It looked like Italian Legend may have gotten through on Warwick as well. So a couple of moves going into turn 1 there. We'll head back to the guys out in front. KQ Mark Aesthetic looking for a move going into turn 4. Doesn't go for it. It looks like no one else is quite close enough just yet to try and move. Fervid Panda might be close. No, he does not. So yeah, that is the end of the first couple of laps. KQ Marcus that are getting past official demo, going through turns 5, 6, and 7. So that might have been into turn 8 in the braking zone. Unfortunately, just missed that moment. Welcome. It's been an absolute age. How you been doing? So yeah, that's been a pretty epic start to the race. It looks like there is a Haas, and so that is, no, that's not that one. Where's the other Haas? There's the other Haas in 16th. Loaf fighting with Stoned as usual. Goes a little bit wide coming out of turn number 10, but manages to keep the position. Out in front, we've got Zero still holding onto the position. Corsair not too far behind though, 0.4 of a second now. Humid falling back, so that is quite interesting to see. And we will switch across to the other telemetry. So let's go there, and there we go. That looks a little bit better. And I'll just have to try and figure out what's going on where. It's a little bit more difficult with this, but it does just look so much better in general. So yeah, so far so good for a couple of people. KQ Mark Aesthetic possibly not having the best race. Let's go have a look at the gained loss. So not too bad so far actually. The worst affected by the mess has been Gokes. 11 places lost. Keycracker in 15th position with 5 places lost as well. So that's not ideal. Let's go back to our timings. Azure and Corsair still fighting out front. KQ Mark Aesthetic in 5th and official demo in 6th, quite close together. And then a cluster behind Destroyer. So Gottlieb, Borak, Italian Legend, all behind Destroyer at the moment, trying to find a way to get past him. We'll be creating a DRS train. DRS obviously in now. So Muchwind has gone into the pits to get rid of his damaged front wing. No more damage being carried by any of the cars out there. So that is good to see. Alrighty, so last lap, let's have a look at what we've got here. So last lap, Azure and Corsair not too far, not too much separating them, and Corsair actually faster on this previous lap than Azure by 0.4 of a second according to the telemetry. Sorry, I've just had a window pop up that's got in the way of my other telemetry. It looks like Corsair is actually putting a lot of pressure on to Azure. We'll see what he can do as he comes up towards turn 4. He'll get the DRS. Does he burn his ERS to try and make a move there? Is he going to? It doesn't look like he's quite close enough. Turn 4, obviously the site of a lot of drama in the 2021 season, and someone did make a comment, I think it may have been a Will or Jolien, referring to the super wide line over the track limits at turn 4 as the Hamilton line. I'm sure that there were a number of people screaming at their TVs in that moment. It looks like we've got a little bit of a battle here between Gottlieb and Italian Legend. Italian Legend in the AlphaTauri, chasing down the Williams, incredibly close there. Not quite able to make it past just yet. KQ Mark Aesthetic also quite close as well. 5/10 of a second, not quite close enough. And you can see that it's just not there, just not enough pace for these guys to be able to actually get past just yet. Corsair has fallen back a little bit, but KQ Mark Aesthetic has not. He is on the back of Quinton. he looks like he is going to try and get past. He won't likely go for a move into turn 14. Because then the DRS will be going the way of sorry, who's that? Quinton, on down the pit straight. But let's see what he can do. Does he manage to go for a move? Corsair, you can see him looking at the inside of Sierra, doesn't quite go for it. KK Aesthetic. Oh, late move there by Quinton. That may be a bit late, a little bit reactive. KK Aesthetic is still behind, but will get the DRS down towards turn 4. Will he try again? I'm sure he will. Oh, and again, that looked a little bit reactive. Oh, a little bit of a nudge there by the Mercedes. I don't think that was intentional. But are they going to be side by side going through 5, 6, and 7? Looks like 5, 6. They are indeed side by side. And now the Mercedes is through on the Ferrari. Can see Demo going on the softs for a late push. Yeah, possibly. He is currently on the... where is that? Currently mediums. So yeah, definitely could go for a late push. If there is a safety car, it might complicate things. The hard tire runners are looking good, as long as, yeah, exactly. I was about to say, so the hard tire runners I think have the better option as long as there is no safety car early on. But the medium tire runners, obviously, they have the possibility of going into the hards, running deep into the race, and then going into the softs at the end. Medium tire runners, they are likely to have to, or the hard tire runners, they are probably going to run as far into the race as they possibly can. Looks like Corsair is right on the back of that Red Bull this time. Does he manage to get through? We'll go on board and watch his telemetry and see what he can do. And unfortunately, not quite enough pace through there as you're holding on to that first position through turns 1, 2, and 3. But incredible moves there by Corsair, trying to go for the inside, trying to find a way through, and Azure just managing to get that little bit of extra traction out of that corner, and that helped him get through there. So back to Italian Legend. Looks like he has some company in the form of Gottlieb in the Williams. We'll see what they can do. Are there? Ooh, and a little bit of a lag spike there by Italian Legend that led to Gottlieb getting through, and he is now under pressure by Kim, actually out of nowhere, in 11th place at the moment. They are on soft tires, so let's see, can I see current tire age? No, that's still not working properly. So unfortunately I can't see the current tire age, but yeah, it looks like they are doing quite nicely on the soft tires. So the tires may be starting to go off. Let's have a look. No, definitely not. Italian Legend might be working his tires a little bit hard. Kim doesn't look like he's working his tires hard enough. So yeah, that's not too bad. Azure currently out in front. Oh, Corsair getting alongside him and ahead. Is he going to be far enough ahead at the first corner? Gets onto the racing line. He does manage to keep the position. That might give Azure DRS up towards turn 4. Let's see what he can do. DRS is indeed open. So Azure has DRS heading down towards turn 4. Corsair does no move there. We see in the background that is not going to be a move just yet. Williams getting out of the way there. That is the Williams of Muchwind. Unfortunately not having a great race, but at the moment we have a Haas that may have spun on the final corner, but looks like they are still heading in the right direction. That is the Haas of Loaf. So yeah, unfortunate there for him, losing a couple of positions. Don't as usual, carrying some wing damage, just see on the telemetry. But yeah, these guys out in front are absolutely pushing their cars as you're widening the track as far as he possibly can as he tries to find a way past the Alfa Romeo of Corsair. Will he manage to do something with that? Little bit of a moment there for Keycracker, unfortunately, in the other McLaren, and pulled out of the way. Oh, and that looked like it may have been a problem for one of the Aston Martins currently in turn 4, having an issue there. But this battle is right on top of each other as you're basically up the gearbox of Corsair. Let's say what they go. Yeah, they could be, but I think they're far enough out in front that they don't really have to worry about working together. They might also be trying to do the DRS leapfrog. No, this is definitely not DRS leapfrog. That is a fight. And let's see, does Corsair manage to get the DRS going down towards turn 4? He will get DRS. Will he be close enough? Currently 2.5 tenths of a second. Is it close enough? Does he go to the inside? He does not, and no contact there at all, though it looked like it was going to be incredibly close. KQ Microstatic and Quinton currently in 4th and 5th. They are also very close together now. And this is a little bit of a difference in tire strategy. So the guys out in front are on the medium tires. They're only 2.5 seconds ahead of Humid in 3rd place on the hard tire. KQ Microstatic 2 seconds back from him, but he's got Quinton for company with the hard tires as well. Demo currently in 6th position in the McLaren. Medium tires for him. Destroyer on hards. Warwick on those soft tires. His soft tires are still looking quite alright. He can probably go another couple of laps in. Gottlieb currently on hard tires. And then Italian Legend with aging soft tires. So he's going to have to start thinking about pitting in the next few laps, I'm sure. Kim is with the soft tires. Elf with medium tires, as well as Esco also with medium tires. Then we have Chicken Wing and Key Cracker currently running as well, followed by Stoned and Gokes on the softs, Fervid Panda with the mediums, and then Me Power and Muchwind with various stops with the soft tires. So back to the front here, Azure and Corsair currently fighting it out once again. Corsair goes to the outside this time. Azure going defensive. Does look like he manages to keep the position. We see the Mercedes of KQ Marcus that he went to defensive, and it looks like he is under massive pressure by Quinton. Ooh, and that looked like possibly almost contact. Guys out in front have kept their positions. These two are switching positions at the moment. Warwick has left the session. That is really unfortunate. I should be able to re-invite him just now, but he is currently running in 8th position, so he might have a little bit of problem, especially if Gottlieb is right in front of him. No, Gottlieb has fallen back a little bit. Italian Legend has gotten through there, so I will send a quick invite through to Warwick before we have any more action. Okay, invite sent, and looks like we don't have any action just yet, but looks like we're about to. Quinton and KQ Microstatic almost on top of each other. Undercut being strong in Bahrain. I don't know if the tire wear is actually high enough for an undercut to really work here. Key Cracker gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so people starting to come in for the pits. Known as usual, Key Cracker both coming into the pits. B-Power and Muchwind showing 0 gap. I think that is because they are a lap behind. It will probably update the moment they go past the start-finish straight. These two have split a little bit. Let's see. I see a fight there. That is the fight between the Italian Legend and Gottlieb. Gottlieb right on top of Italian Legend at the moment. Warwick, I did see. I think I did see him rejoin, so he shouldn't have too much of a problem. In the second of the Mercedes, is he ghosted? He is still ghosted, so he hasn't managed to rejoin fully yet. Italian Legend currently holding off Gottlieb. Is Gottlieb going to go for the run into turn 14? He is indeed. I think he may have been a little bit ahead there by the DRS. So the fact that Italian Legend has managed to hold on to that position, goes into the pits, and that was quite a late call there by Italian Legend to go into the pits. So that is lots happening. 5-second penalty for Kim for the pit lane speeding. Wish I could turn off the penalty display for the in-game penalty display. I think I would have to go and actually modify the overlay layout in the settings, which I'm not going to do right now, obviously, but I think I will try and do that before next week's race, because obviously we have our own penalty display. So yeah, pretty good race so far. As you're out in front, Corsair in second. These two running away a little bit. Humid is 3 seconds back, but on the hard tires, so he is on a different strategy, and he is making those tires last quite nicely. Quinton and KQ Microstatic as well, they are being very kind to their tires, but despite the fighting we have seen that they have been entertaining us with, so they are taking care of their tires. And the two out in front, although their tires aren't terrible, they're not not great either. So they are wearing through those medium tires at a sort of semi-normal rate. Demo definitely seems to be managing his tires, just looking at his tire wear. Destroyer doing well on those hards, ditto with Gottlieb. Elf and Sasko are being very good to those medium tires. My word, they are going to be running quite late with those medium tires. So good to see some incredible tire management going on the telemetry, as we see one of the Alfa Romeos actually lapping the other Corsair, getting through on Stone as usual. So far, we have no DNFs. Okay, so that is good to see. Obviously, I've brought it up now, so we're likely to have some sort of safety car soon. But let's hope not. Azura out in front, Corsair in second, Humid in third in the second of the Red Bulls. Quinton in fourth in the Ferrari, followed by KK Marcus Static in the Mercedes. I do believe this is going to be the way that this season goes is actually going to be Ferrari, Mercedes and McLaren fighting it out for position. Second, Ferrari in the form of Destroyer currently in seventh. Then it is Gottlieb in eighth, and then the two Haas's ninth and 10th in Alpha and SKO. That looked like there may have been something going on in the background, but it doesn't look like that has caused any sort of issue on track. So yeah, unfortunately, we're into a little bit of a period of the race where people are on different run plans. So obviously people on different tire strategies and trying to push as they can. Corsair actually goes into the pits, and let's see, does he manage to nail his marks? Goes into the pits. Tires go on. It looks slow, but no, he has missed his. Oh, there we go. That was just a little bit of lag. I thought he had missed his clutch point, and that would have been quite bad for him. So let's see what the undercut does. Azura out in front now has to try and make up a massive amount of time, has to set a good lap here compared to Corsair. We'll see Corsair come out of the pits. His first sector is going to be slow, and then we'll see what happens. Sorry, I'm moving closer to the microphone because apparently the game has decided we are going to be on board, so I'm hoping that I can speak over the game by being a little bit closer as we see Azura coming through turn 10. So Azura first sector 30.639. Corsair's first sector obviously 50 seconds, so that is the 20 seconds of the pit lane that will be counting there. The real tell will be the second sector, which Azure is coming to the end of now. Azure gets a 40.673. It's about 1.1 seconds slower than his fastest lap. So definitely is struggling through that second sector with the current tires. So that is quite a bit slower than his previous lap. Does he go into the pits now? No, he goes on a little bit longer. So now that we've seen a lap there by Corsair, what is by Azure, what is Corsair going to be doing as through the second sector? Through the second sector, 40.2, so 0.4 of a second quicker than Azure. He was right on top of. Oh, I see a Haas is stopped, and that is SKO. And that looks like he may have had a moment with Italian Legend. Not entirely sure what happened there. I see wing damage for both of them. Oh, and you can see Esco struggling with the wing damage. His tires are also quite warm there. So unfortunate there for Esco. So I do believe that Corsair's early pit stop, I think the undercut may have actually worked for him. He now gets through on Demo. I think Demo may have gotten out of the way of the Alfa Romeo there, just because he is on a different tire strategy. We'll see end of the first sector. What is the difference between himself and that is a massive lap there, 0.8 of a second quicker than Azure. Corsair may have made this I'm not entirely sure if it was early or not. He is on the hard tires. He should be able to go through to the end, just looking at the hard tire wear of everyone else. So this might be a good run here. Corsair currently does look like he has the pace to take it to Azure. Azure currently has slightly more worn tires. I'll show his tire wear if he does come into the pits now. I'll show what his tire wear is. Does he come into the pits? He does indeed. So tire wear, as you can see, 54 on the rear left, as Fervor Panda gets a tire speeding penalty for the pit lane, but that would have been slowing down the Red Bull. Now the big question is, what does Corsair do? Does he manage to get through? It looks like the Red Bull has been released. Muchwind has retired from the session. Oh, is that a safety car? It is indeed. Oh no. That is tragic. Oh no. Okay, so Muchwind has retired from the session. Unfortunately, the second of the Williams cars is out. So Gottlieb, the only Williams left in the race. Humid actually holds on to the lead. With Quinton in second and KQ Markstatic in third. Humid, Quinton, and KQ Markstatic all still have to pit. Azura has pit and has come out just ahead of Corsair. I do believe that was a situation where... Oh, that's a little bit odd. Why is that Aston Martin running so slowly? And is this going to be a problem for Corsair? It is indeed. He lets him through. So good there by Corsair. But yeah, Demo's strategy could definitely pay off. He is on the hard tires now, so he should be able to go through to the end of the race without a problem. So if he can take advantage of the restart, then he should be good. Who is that? Is that Fervid or is it Me Power? It is Fervid indeed. So Fervid Panda currently in 17th position in the Aston Martin. And it does look like he's struggling to keep his car going in the right direction at the right pace with the guys around him. Obviously, both Azure and Corsair incredibly quick. Corsair, I do feel like he is going to feel incredibly hard. Ooh, Humid coming into the pits, as is Quinton. Is KK Microstatic doing it as well? He is indeed. So, obviously, the safety car hasn't picked up the leaders yet, so this is actually something that they can absolutely do. Did Corsair go in as well? What? Is he going on to a second set of mediums? He is indeed. They are fresh mediums. It's a gamble. It is a gamble. It's an interesting gamble. I like what I see because it is... where is Demo? Demo is currently just coming down the pit lane. So that is actually an interesting call by Corsair. So Azure on the hard tires, 1 lap old hard tires, out in first place. Has a couple of warnings. So that is going to be something that I'm sure people are going to be hoping for. Me Power gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the pit lane, I imagine. Those medium tires are going to be at the limits, 14-15 laps at the end. You know what? Looking at sort of the medium tire where before, they're not going to be quite at the limit, but there's definitely going to be a tire differential towards the end between the hard tire runners and the medium tire runners. But I don't think it's going to be large enough that the medium tire runners are going to be much slower than the hard tire runners. I think this is a situation where you kind of have to take advantage of it now and then hope that by the end you can hold on to the position. So I think the medium tire runners may actually be in a slightly better position, at least for the restart. Yeah, the hard tire runners might be in a slightly risky position, at least in the restart, but they will be able to push towards the end, whereas the medium tire runners have to make the most of those medium tires right now at the restart, and then hope that they can hold on to the positions at the end. This is going to be an interesting not amalgamation, what's the word now? Meeting. I can't remember what the actual word is, of strategies, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, Azure and Demo versus everyone else. Yeah, absolutely. Alf is also on the hards, and then everyone from Chicken Wing back is on the hards, other than Me Power. So it's there's a decent mix of strategies going on. Safety car is still out this lap because we do have quite a few people who have not managed to catch up just yet. But yeah, this is going to be very good to watch, I'm sure. I'm going to say that the medium tire runners are actually going to do a little bit better. 14 left. Okay, cool. Let's actually place bets. Will a medium tire runner win, or will it be a hard? I've got three options. We've got medium, hard, and then late stop soft for the win, which apparently it did not actually pick up my N. I think it may have been a little bit long, so I'm going to go medium and vote for that. So yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, this is a poll. I forgot that polls are not what we're trying to do. But anyway, it's fine. We'll just ignore that, and yeah, we'll. What is it supposed to be? I cannot remember what it was. Will come in. The safety car will come in lap 19 or 20. I do. No. The safety car will come back in either this lap or the next. It won't stay out longer than 3 laps, if I remember correctly. So we should be seeing the safety car come in fairly shortly. Prediction is what I was looking for. So apologies for the random poll. I'm going to end it because it's actually not what we're trying to do, and it's a prediction that we're wanting to do. Okay, 10 minutes prediction. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, yeah, apologies for the poll instead of the medium, the prediction. So let's go there, predict with custom mount. Oh, that's fine. Okay, cool. There we go. So, prediction is up. Let's see how it goes. Okay, safety car in this lap, 3 laps as I expected, so we will see the guys get underway very shortly. Oh, that Aston Martin needs to back off a little bit, otherwise it's going to go straight into the back of the leaders there. So Azure out in front, Humid in second, Quinton is in third, KQ Microstatic in fourth, and Corsair in fifth. We're going to watch from on board with Corsair so that we can actually see what's going on. Okay, so Azure went nice and early. A couple of people all going for a move, and that is Quinton trying to get through on Humid. Humid managing to hold onto the position as they go into turn 1. Is there chaos once again into the first corner? It looks like everyone is getting through all right. Lots of lockups in the background. But we are going to keep an eye on this cluster out in front. Humid has managed to hold on to second position. Quinton in third, KK Microstatic in fourth is looking like he's got a little bit more traction than the Ferrari in front of him. Does he try and move into 5 and 6? He does not. He holds on to the position. Corsair right on top of him, and that looked like he was almost pushing him through the corners, but it doesn't look like KQ has lost any sort of control there, so I don't think that was actual contact. The two of them side by side. Azure's best start possible. Absolutely, that is indeed the case, and through 9, Corsair goes very deep into 10 and misses out. He will have to give that position back to KK Microstatic, and he has done exactly that. Actually, no, he's still holding on to the position, and that that might be brought up as gaining an advantage off track. He did not have control going into that corner, and that is a big penalty if it does come his way. That'll be 5 or 10 seconds of penalties for getting an advantage on off track. He did not have control through 9 and 10, went way too deep. So he now needs to try and get ahead of everyone else by 5 seconds because he is likely to get a penalty for that. So as you're out in front, managed to sell everyone. I think that Aston Martin did help because he didn't know what the safety car restart was going to be like, a 130.999 by Azure. On that first lap. Humid in second has managed to make a good restart and is holding onto their second place, the two Red Bulls out in front. Then it's Quinton in third, Corsair in fourth, but may have that penalty hovering over him. He didn't have good control through that corner, hasn't let the Mercedes through properly, and so that might end up costing him towards the end of the race. KK Mark-Static in fifth position. He just needs to hold on to Corsair and try and follow him through. Corsair does have the pace, so if he does manage to hold onto Corsair, he will get DRS, and that might help him get through on the guys out ahead. Official Demo currently in 6th position in the McLaren. Hard tires is the first of the hard tire runners that isn't Azure, so he is going to be looking to make those tires work towards the end of the race. Destroyer in 7th. It doesn't have too much to worry about because Gottlieb and Warrack behind him are actually fighting in the Williams and the Mercedes. Where have we seen this before? At least it's not wet. Elf is sitting in 10th place in the first of the Haas's. Looks like he has Gokes on full company, and Gokes having a little bit of a moment there and having to back out of that move. Stoned as usual has Italian Legend right on top of him. I think we're going to see a pass here, and indeed we do. So Stoned as usual gets overtaken by Italian Legend in one of the two Italian cars on the track, actually getting through there, so that's nice to see for him. Chicken Wing has fallen back a little bit, and further back we can see the guys are busy spacing out a little bit. So yeah, good restart. Humid gets the fastest lap of the race, and that is interesting to see. Let's have a look at how much quicker he was than Azure. Massively quicker than Azure, but I wonder if Azure was letting him catch up. These are obviously teammates both in the game as well as outside of it in their esports team, so that might be a little bit of strategy coming into play there. I do see is that Stone as usual and Italian Legend going side by side into turn number 1, and the Alfa Romeo goes a little bit deep. Italian Legend gets a better line, will get a better line through 2. Does he manage to make it work? He does indeed. Shoots up the outside, pushes a little bit off. Oh, massive smash there for one of, that is Kim in the Alpine in the background. Massive crash there, and that's really unfortunate. And is that a safety car? Virtual safety. Oh, that was really unfortunate there for Kim Urgis. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, unfortunate there. You can see that Alpine, that thing speared into the wall in a massive way, and I think the virtual safety car, oh no, Stoned as usual gets a penalty for severe collision with Keycracker. How did that happen? Keycracker is currently in 17th position, so not sure what exactly happened there, but Stoned as usual getting a penalty for that collision with Keycracker, who is currently in 17th place. And did he get damage? No, he didn't pick up damage, so that's lucky for him, but obviously 5 seconds of penalties there. And except it's not on the telemetry. Drive through for, oh no. Oh no, KQ gets a drive-through penalty for speeding. Oh, and then gets 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is really unfortunate for him. May have run just a little bit too quickly when they were waiting for the VSC to end, and now has managed to pick up a 5-second penalty in the pit lane itself. He will be serving his drive-through penalty now. Hopefully there is another safety car later on, but it's only 8 laps left to go to the end of the race, and yeah, that is really unfortunate for him. Let's see, it looks like there is a Mercedes fighting with the Williams still. Warwick and Gottlieb fighting it out for 7th and 8th position. So they are pushing as hard as they can, trying to find a way past, trying to force each other to make a mistake. And it's more likely for Gottlieb to make a mistake. Obviously, he does have the dirty air, but the pressure can be intense, and I'm sure Warwick will be feeling it. But there we saw the effect of the dirty air, that little snap of oversteer there for Gottlieb, and he has dropped back a fair amount from where he was before. So a little bit unfortunate there. Meepara now gets a speeding penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Talk about a full kick in the teeth, getting a penalty was. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know who's. It's surprising he's not in a an Alpine. Um, but as we say that, Italian legend in his Alpha Tauri, making his way past Unstoned as usual, and he has now climbed up there. SKO getting through on Chicken Wing. Does he manage to hold on to the position? Not just yet. In the Haas has let the position go again. Chicken Wing getting through on him, so that was unfortunate there. So Warwick still quite close to Gottlieb. Oh no, Warwick has actually caught up to Destroyer, so that is interesting. See, green flag, track is clear. That is one of the Aston Martins having a little bit of an issue out in front, maybe trying to get off the track. We have a McLaren, I think that might be Keycracker, having a bit of an issue through turn 13. There he is. Does he have damage? He does not have damage, so that is fine for him. It looks like, yeah, that Aston Martin is running quite slowly. I think he's just trying to stay out of the way of the front runners. Looking back, is that SKO? No, that's not SKO. That is actually Elf with some company there behind him. Stone as usual, and Italian legend swapping positions, going through turn 4. Keycracker has retired from the session, so he has pulled into the pit lane. Not entirely sure what's happened there, but pulled into the pit lane and retired, so that shouldn't cause any sorts of issues on track. And we have Stone as usual retiring from the session as well. Is that a voluntary retirement? It is indeed, so that is likely to be investigated as well, as you're not allowed to retire on track. So that is likely to be investigated. So Stone as usual, retiring on track, that is likely to be a penalty, to be honest. And then Keycracker retiring in the pit lane, that we do allow because it generally doesn't cause too much of an issue, although it does look like his car has come out. It will cause a massive snap there for Elf, an Italian legend now gets through on the Haas driver. Who is that? That is KQ Microstatic. So KQ Microstatic is probably furious at the moment. And he is going to be pushing that car as hard as he possibly can. 5-second penalty for him. Remember, Corsair might have that 5-second penalty coming his way as well. Humid dropping off. Indeed, he is 2 seconds back at the moment. So unfortunate there for Humid, but not entirely surprising. Azure is actually putting a lot into his tires. So Azure and Humid, despite the fact that they're on different tires, they are putting about the same amount of energy through them. Or wear through them, at least, not energy, as you're putting through quite a bit more energy on those hard tires. KK Mark Static now on the back of the Haas through 5, 6, and 7. Does he go for a move into 8? He does indeed. Goes to the inside, brakes a little bit later on the medium tires. Fresher, no, they aren't fresher actually, they'll be the same sort of age. Medium tires, a little bit of a tire delta, and away he goes. He is doing well on his tire wear, so he should be fine. 7 laps left to go before the end of this race. KK Mark Static is going to be moving. Fervid Panda getting past where Stone as usual retired, so he went up a position there. But KK Mark Static now going through turn 12 into turn 13. Thinks about the move for a moment on Italian Legend, doesn't quite go for it. Ooh, gets a snap, trying to get that corner a little bit sharper. Fair defense there by Italian Legend. One move to the inside, one move to the out, back to the line. So that was a fair defense there. Italian Legend does it again. Does he try and close the door? He does try and close the door, but KQ Microstatic is already there, and KQ Microstatic gets through. But Italian Legend will get the DRS on the next lap, and we'll see how this goes. KQ Microstatic does look like he gets a decent exit out of turn 2 through turn 3. Is Italian Legend close enough? We'll see what he can do, and KK Microstatic going defensive already. Returns back to the line. Ooh, almost contact there as he cuts across the front wing of Italian Legend. It was legal. I think he was just making sure that the Alpha Tauri wasn't there, and so he is through into 10th position. 10th position, 5-second penalty still hanging over him. No, it's not. I'm just going to check something. Yeah, 5-second penalty there for KK Microstatic, 5-second penalty for Fervid Panda. It looks like there's a 5-second penalty for me as well. So for some reason, my other telemetry system is not showing the 5-second penalties. Not entirely sure what's happening there. There was an update for F1 23 before we started this race, so I wonder if they maybe changed a couple of the telemetry standards. But yeah, that is odd that we are not seeing the... let's quickly... Yeah, that's very weird. Alrighty, so KK Mark Static still has work to do. Currently in 10th position with a 5-second penalty hanging over him. And he is... looks like he's really pushing that car. He is trying to get that Mercedes further up the grid. He does have that 5-second penalty, so he needs to make sure that he is more than 5 seconds ahead of Italian Legend or whoever he passes for that matter. Corsair, currently in 5th position, is starting to catch up to Demo as well. Demo fallen back quite far from Quinton, who is in 3rd position. So I think the podium is going to be pretty much decided unless there is a mistake by one of Azure, Humid, or Quinton. Officially Demo in 4th position, but Corsair almost definitely has a penalty after that move earlier on. Ooh, that looked like it may have been a little bit of contact, was it? No, it looks like Demo has managed to keep hold of the car, so I don't think there would have been contact there. With that sort of steering angle, that would definitely have sent him around. Corsair being very aggressive on that with the front tires of that Alfa Romeo, and you can absolutely see he's trying to get past Demo as quickly as possible. He needs to make up some time. He needs to get through. 4 laps left at the moment. I think that is for the leaders themselves. Let's see what happens as these guys cross. Yeah, 4 laps left. So the leaders have 4 laps left, including the lap that they are currently on. Corsair is not quite close enough to get through on Demo, but will get DRS down into turn 4. Is he going to be close enough up towards turn 4? KK Static has gotten up into 8th position, has managed to pass both Gogs and Gottlieb. So he now has Warwick 5 seconds ahead, so he has some work to do there. Corsair not through on the Demo, and once again has to check up very, very quickly, has to brake incredibly hard to not go into the back of the McLaren. Now through 5, 6, and 7, he just has to follow. Will he try something into 8? No, you have to really commit to that quite early. Doesn't go for anything into 8. Let's see if he tries another move into 9. Doesn't look like he's going to go for it there. Chicken wing 3-second penalty for track limits. That's fine. Oh, Demo getting off the brakes just a little bit towards the apex of 10, and that has allowed Corsair through a nice easy pass there, and that is Warrack and Destroyer. So the 2 Mercedes are now running together. Destroyer currently in 6th. Demo dropped down into 5th, and looks like he is dropping back from Corsair quite quickly. But if he stays within 5 seconds, which I believe he should be able to do, then he should be able to take that position after that moment earlier on. So Warwick and KK Marcus Static, the 2 Mercedes, line abreast at the moment, or line astern if I remember correctly, at the moment, and they are going to be chasing down the Ferrari of Destroyer. Destroyer currently in 6th position. He has less than a second over Warwick, who has DRS open. He will be pulling himself towards that Ferrari. Corsair and Demo have actually swapped position again. Demo getting a good run into turn 1, a little bit of better traction as you mentioned, Moment, and yeah, he does manage to get through there. This is good for him. Remember, he only needs to stay within 5 seconds to be able to possibly take advantage of any penalties that do come Corsair's way. And so Demo is doing a good job of it. 3 laps left to go. It is going to be very difficult for Corsair to try and make up 5 seconds from this point. So Demo actually goes very deep into turn 8. Let us see the cars game. Going into 9, Demo does manage to hold onto the position. So I think Demo, massive snap there as he slides into the corner. Demo needs to be careful. He is overheating his tires, and that is not going to be good for him in this battle. It looks like the Mercedes is coming alongside the Ferrari further back. Warwick and Destroyer fighting it out as well. Demo and Corsair fighting it through, and Corsair seems to have a massive amount of pace over Demo just all of a sudden. That was a massive difference in speed there. I'm not entirely sure what happened, if Demo maybe took it a little bit too lightly into that corner. Obviously with his tires screaming out that they are too hot. He may have taken a little bit easy through there. May also have been playing a little bit of DRS games. Obviously, DRS down the pit straight. Warwick in the background. You can see him on the back of Destroyer. KK Marcus Static not quite close enough to challenge just yet. Penultimate lap of the race. 2 laps left to go as we see Demo get through on Corsair once again. And will he manage to hold on to it down into turn 4? You can see his DRS light, his ERS light is flashing. Corsair goes to the inside. Nice easy pass there for Corsair. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dino has let it do that, and he is just exactly letting them avoid, just managing those tires. It is very important with where he is at the moment, and so I think that is exactly what he is doing. Currently on board with Corsair, the game deciding that we don't need to see the actual action, just random halos. That is, I think Esco had a little bit of a problem there in the background, but yeah, this battle is shaping up to be absolutely incredible here between Corsair and Demo. Will Demo be able to get ahead on track? The final lap of the race is about to start as Azure crosses the start-finish line for the last time. Final lap of the race. This is where it counts. This is where the difference can be made. Corsair needs to make up at least 5 seconds to know that he is safe. Demo just needs to stay within those 5 seconds to be able to know he has a chance in once the shooting comes through. And let's see what happens. He is out of DRS indeed, but that doesn't mean he won't get a little bit of a slipstream. Let's see, does he get the slipstream? 109.8 currently showing, and comes to the end. He did get a little bit of a slipstream, but it just wasn't quite enough. And in the background, we see Warwick going very, very, very wide into turn 1. So may have had to get out of it there to avoid a collision with Destroyer. KK Marcus Static hasn't quite managed to catch up to these guys just yet. Destroyer in the Ferrari has managed to hold on to that position, and only 1 real or 2 real overtaking chances, or 3 actually, if you are brave. Looks like Demo and Corsair have split up a little bit, 1.4 seconds the gap between the two of them. But these 3 are right on top of each other. Oh, massive snap there by Destroyer. Massive snap there by Warwick as well. And so KK Marcus Static suddenly has a position where he might be able to get through on 2 guys, including his teammate. Massive lockups there going in through turn 10. KK Marcus Static will get the slipstream from his teammate with DRS. Does he go to the inside? He does not. Looks to the inside, doesn't quite go for it. Destroyer and Warwick are fighting it out. Will these 2 manage to get it? They get through there. Micro obviously extending the track wherever he possibly can, trying to find a way through here, and it's not quite close enough yet. Oh, right on top of his teammate. Does he pull out going towards turn 14? He does indeed look at the inside of turn 14, decides against it, and now pulls back in. Obviously, he does have that 5-second penalty, so maybe trying to avoid causing any sort of issue to his teammate. And KK Marcus gets that 5-second penalty for an unserved penalty. That's speeding in the pit lane. Really unfortunate there, and it has ended up in 9th position. So Gottlieb comes through in 10th, Down Legend in 11th, Elf comes through in 12th, and then our last finisher will be Chicken Wing. Oh no, SKO is still running as well, so Chicken Wing currently coming down towards turn 14, and then SKO will be coming through turn 30 now. So SKO, currently the final runner in the second of the Haas's, and we can see him coming through turn 14 and 15, riding the curb just a little bit too much there, and giving us a little bit of a weave. Does he get onto the grass? He does not, so will probably survive and cross the line as the final finisher in 14th position. So yeah, that is the end of the race. Well done to everyone who managed to get through it. Only 3 DNFs, Muchwind, Keycracker, and Stoned as usual getting their DNFs. Keycracker a voluntary DNF, Azure, Humid, and Quinton out in front. then followed by Corsair, possibly with a penalty hovering over him. So we'll see what happens there. Demo did manage to stay within 5 seconds, so we'll see what happens there. Destroyer, Warak, Gokes, KQ Microstatic, and Gottlieb are top 10. Followed by Italian Legend, Elf, Chicken Wing, SKO, and Kim, top 15, Fervid Panda, and Me Power, the last of our finishers, and then we have Stoned as usual, Key Cracker, and Mystic Mudwind bringing up the rear with the DNFs. Tire strategies, you can see a couple of interesting tire strategies going on there. No one going for the super aggressive strategies that we hoped to see. Penalties, there weren't actually that many penalties. It's good to see that the guys managed to race mostly cleanly. A couple of people obviously having a couple of people penalties for safety car infringements, virtual safety car infringements, and so on. And then obviously those speeding in the pit lane penalties, which are just so difficult to handle, because when you go into the pit lane, you are firing yourself into that lane, and then it's just so difficult to try and make sure that you hit that line at exactly the right speed, especially if your tires are going off and you lock up. So yeah, unfortunately for those guys, we'll see what happens with the various stewarding reports. I don't think there's a stewarding report the template just yet, so I'll make sure that's up by tomorrow, and we'll see what happens there. Obviously, there are a couple of incidents that we will likely look into already that we saw. So yeah, hopefully those don't cause too much of an issue, but obviously we are looking at making sure that this racing is of an incredibly high standard this season. So thank you so much to everyone who joined us. It's been an absolute pleasure to host you guys. Thank you to just in general, it's been a great. Obviously, Azure managed to get through there on the hard tire, so I will make sure that prediction is adjusted to show that that was actually the case. Try and remember where exactly that is supposed to be done. There we go. Okay, cool. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I hope to see you again next week for round number 2. We'll be racing around the Shanghai International Circuit. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the evening, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time.